The third basic flavor of accounting is managerial accounting. It starts with bookkeeping. We have a system in place to gather the raw data. Sometimes we need to communicate some of those data to people outside the company. That's called financial accounting, communicating with outsiders. More frequently, we need to use those data internally to make internal decisions. That's managerial accounting, the accounting data that are used internally to make daily decisions. When I say managerial accounting, I want you to think details. I want you to think inside the company. I want you to think secret. I want you to think daily. These are the data that people inside an organization are going to be using intensively on a daily basis to make those daily decisions. Hey, we're selling blue shoes. Should we start selling black shoes? We're selling children's clothes. Should we start selling adults' clothes? We're selling strawberry ice cream. Should we start selling chocolate ice cream? We've got a factory here in Nevada. Should we also build one in Illinois? Those detailed daily decisions that any organization has to make every day, those decisions are made using managerial accounting data. In fact, if you've ever been involved in any kind of organization, worked in a company, been involved with a charitable organization, you've used managerial accounting data. You might have provided input into managerial accounting reports. You've probably used managerial accounting reports. It's what people use all the time to make decisions with respect to an organization. And here's the thing. These data are not things that you're going to share with outsiders. See, financial accounting is built to be shared with outsiders. Managerial accounting? No. Inside. Secret. It's the stuff that we use internally to make decisions. And here's the interesting thing about managerial accounting. If done well, managerial accounting can be a competitive tool. It can make your company beat your competitor in the marketplace. Now, I could tell you're a little skeptical. Accounting be a competitive tool. Managerial accounting can be a competitive tool. Let's think of an example. We've got two soup and salad restaurants. Let's put them right across the street from one another. One side, we've got soup and salad restaurant number 1. On the other side of the street, we've got soup and salad restaurant number 2. So these are really competitors. They both serve exactly the same soup and exactly the same salad. They're not competing based on quality of food. So how are they going to compete? Well, accounting at restaurant number 1 is very traditional. They don't do anything fancy. They just want to make sure they get their bills paid. They want to make sure that their employees get paid on time. They really, even though it's a soup and salad restaurant, they've got a meat and potatoes accounting system. Very traditional. Now, you and I are over here in restaurant number 2. We know that managerial accounting can be a competitive tool. Here's what we do with our accounting system. We use bookkeeping to gather the data, and then we organize the data. That's what managerial accounting is, organizing all these data we've got in our company. We know, for example, item by item, how much each item on our menu costs. You come on to our soup and salad restaurant and order tomato basil soup. We know exactly how much it costs us to prepare that, the raw materials, and to cook it and serve it. We know all the costs. And if we know all our costs, we know whether we can afford to give customers a 20% off coupon or a 30% off coupon or a 2-for-1. We know exactly how low we can go with our prices and how big our discounts can be because we know what our costs are. We know by hour, by minute inside our business, what people are buying and when they're buying it. We know how much tomato basil soup is sold between 11 and 12 every day and how much is sold between 6 and 7 in the evening every night. We know that. That makes it easier for us to target our promotions to our customers. We also know when do we need to have more staff here and when can we afford to have fewer staff because we know exactly by the minute inside our business when people are there. We know our customer demographics. We've probably got a system set up where customers can get points by registering with us and providing us their address and their email address. So we know a little bit about our customers, and we keep track of what they buy. So since we've got their email address and we know what they like to buy, we can send them little email coupons. Hey, come in, we're running a special on your favorite tomato basil soup, 60% off. Bring a friend, and your friend will also get 60% off. We can target our sales efforts at individual customers based on their individual preferences. Now you say, wait, stop. This is marketing. This is advertising. No, it's marketing or advertising standing on the back of a good managerial accounting system. It's the managerial accounting system and the data involved with it that make it possible to target our individual customers. You know the frequently ordered combinations. You know that when somebody comes in and orders tomato basil soup, they're probably going to have for dessert that strawberry cheesecake. So package those together and give people a discount for ordering both of them at the same time. You know all this stuff. Meanwhile, the poor person trying to run restaurant number 1 across the street, all their internal accounting system tells them is how much they're supposed to pay their employees this week and how much they're supposed to pay for their supplies when they receive them. That's all they know. Who's going to win in the long term in this competition between soup and salad restaurant number 1 and soup and salad restaurant number 2? The one with the better internal managerial accounting system. Good managerial accounting can be a competitive tool. So how are managerial accounting data used, these internal data inside a company? Well, first, product costs. Let's say I've got a wood furniture business. Somebody comes in and orders a custom-made oak table. Well, in order to make an intelligent decision about whether I should sell that table or not and at what price, I need to know how much it costs me to make that table. So product costing is part of managerial accounting. Break-even analysis. Let's say I'm considering opening up a scuba shop at the local mall. Well, that's a risky thing to do, but okay, go ahead, think about it. And one of the first things you should do is this. Figure out how much you're going to have to pay your manager, figure out how much you're going to have to pay for rent, and then figure out how many customers are going to have to come into my scuba shop each month for me to break even, to avoid losing money. That's an important part of managerial accounting analysis. Budgeting. Many startup businesses have been killed because they just haven't sat down and made a budget, a numerical plan on paper. Budgeting is part of managerial accounting. Performance evaluation. Some employees are doing their jobs very well. Some employees are not doing so well. We want to reward the one and not reward the other. So we need a system in place to gather the data to evaluate different parts of our company. Let's say I want to invest in a long-term project. I want to build a new factory facility in Rock Springs, Wyoming. It's going to last for 20 years. Well, that's a decision that's going to require the use of managerial accounting information. How much is it going to cost to buy the land? How much is it going to cost to buy the building and the machines? And what are the profits we're going to make? And how long is it going to last? All those data would be brought to bear in making that decision to invest in a long-term project. What about outsourcing production? I've got a production facility right now in the Central Valley of California, we'll say. But should I stop producing my product here in California and outsource it? Maybe it can be made in Brazil. Maybe it can be made in Ethiopia. There are all kinds of possibilities. Managerial accounting data are used to make those kind of decisions, outsourcing production. And finally, add a product line. I've got a nice line of children's clothing here. Should I start selling adult clothing in my store as well? Let me run the numbers on that. Which numbers? These are the kind of decisions that are made using managerial accounting data.